Here from Guitarist.com, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to play A Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. It goes like this.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night, I should be sleeping like a log. But when I get home to you, I find the things that you do will make me feel alright. When I'm home, everything seems to be right. When I'm home, feeling you holding me tight.
And believe it or not, you can play this song without bar chords. I'll show you a simpler way to play B minor. But if you're ready, this is an awesome song to practice bar chords with. And speaking of practice, if you want to develop your guitar skills and be able to play songs like this, a bunch of others, and do all the stuff that you wanted to do on guitar, please check out my All Access Pass. I'll put more information about that down below. Now let's just jump right in. The verse uses primarily the G chord and C chord, but we're going to be switching in a bit of a different way. Rather than playing our G like this, where my middle finger is on the 3rd fret of the thickest string. I like doing that way when I'm switching between G and D a lot. But here we're switching from G to C pretty quick. So let's play G with our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the thickest string and our pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the thinnest string. That's all you need. You can optionally add your middle finger to the 2nd fret of the A string, but chances are that string's being muted by the underside of your ring finger. So we have our G chord, and my index and middle are ready for the spots that they need to be on the C chord. They're not touching the guitar, they're just hovering. And we strum our G chord, and then I'm going to move my ring finger over to the 3rd fret of the A string, and I can get my C chord really quickly, really smoothly. And to switch back, I just lift my index and middle, and then I place my ring and pinky on that G chord. So I want you to try that a few times. You know, it's been a hard day's night. We do that a lot during this song. That's why I kind of wanted to, isolate it and work on it a little bit. And you can do that at your own pace, just going hard day's night 4, or counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting really smooth with that switch. And if chord switches are, still something that you're working on, and strumming and all the fundamentals, I have a free ebook. It's completely free for all my subscribers. I'll put a link for that down below as well. And while you're down there, if you enjoyed learning guitar with me, I'd really appreciate if you could take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Now, before we move on and learn the rest of the chords for the verse, let's take a look at the strumming for that part, because it's a little bit different. It goes... And that might seem pretty complicated, but when we break it down, it's not too bad. Starting off on our G chord, we just go down, down. And we got to pay attention to the counting. That's happening on beats 1 and 2. So 1, 2. Couldn't be simpler than that. Now, for the C chord, we're going to go down, up. And that's on beat 3 and. So let's just do that so far, what we have so far. Going 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just looping that. 2, 3, and 4. And I'm counting 4 out loud to make sure I get like a 4-beat unit, because this song's in 4/4 time. We're counting to 4 over and over. Might as well start feeling that now while we're practicing our strumming. Anyways, from that point, on the and of 4, at the very end of our first measure, we're going to switch back to G and do an upstroke. So I would switch on beat 4, going 1, 2, 3, and switch up. That might be a lot, but just take a look at it. You could even pause the video, read it slowly, and just go through it at your own pace. 1, 2, down, up, switch, up. You could even isolate that little part going down, up on the C chord, and then switching to G as you do a miss stroke. So I'm missing the strings, and then I play up on the G. Down, up, switch and miss, up. And get the motions first, even if you're not in time. Just get those 4 motions, down, up, switch, up. And then start to count out loud. Do it at your own pace. Do it over and over again. And moving on now, we're just going to be staying on that G chord. For beat 1, we're just missing the strings and we go up, down. So 1, up, down. And then on 3, 4, and down, down, up, which isn't too tricky. So I would practice that going miss, up, down, 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 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Miss, up, down, 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 up. So notice we broke down those 2 measures into a few different parts. I want you to practice it just like we went over in this lesson. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments below. Or if you're a member of my All Access Pass, you can always ask in the community, and you can even show me with a video and I can see you play and I can tell you exactly what to do. But regardless of all that, we want to play that whole thing a whole bunch of times till we're really solid at it, because we do this like 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 times or something like that throughout this whole thing. I might be miscounting, might be even more, but let's just try this. 3, 4, down, 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 up, switch, up, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, up, down, down, And we can call that like, figure 1 or something. I know we're not writing a book here, but that's like a unit that keeps occurring throughout the entire song, is that chord and strumming combo. So we play that once, and I'll just write out the chords for the verse here. Then we have an F chord. And instead of the dreaded F bar chord, we can play it like this, skipping the thinnest string. My index goes on the 1st fret of the B string. My middle goes on the 2nd fret of the next string. Then my pinky goes on the 3rd fret of the D string, and my ring finger just above it on the 3rd fret of the A string. My thumb is lightly touching the thickest string. Your index finger should be lightly touching the high E string without even, thinking about it. It just kind of does that anyways. And you get a lovely F chord that is just a little less rich than the full-on bar chord, but 10 times easier, right? And we have that F chord followed by G, and we're playing F like this, and we can play G the same way as before, where we're just putting our ring finger. That's a really quick switch too, and you can practice that, just going between the 2 chords, silently switching, then adding some strumming. And we do our little unit again, and then F and G again, and then C, D, and then our unit. So that unit, figure 1, as we're calling it, happens 3 times in the verse. And for the rest of the chords, we're just going to use the most common strumming pattern ever. So that strumming pattern is down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. And I have a separate lesson where we go over that. We go over that in my ebook. I go over that in many places if you need extra help with it. But we'll briefly touch upon it right now. We divide it into 2 parts. First going down, down, up, 3, 4. 3, 4. Counting out loud, 3, 4. Down on beat 1, down up on beat 2. And then we practice 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. And then we put the whole thing together. Down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. Down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. You do it on a single chord, and then you do it going from F to G, and then you're pretty much set. So with all that said, I'm going to demonstrate the entire verse now. You're welcome to just watch this, see what happens, rewind the tape, and then try it after. We're at 96 beats per minute, which is much slower than the recording. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's been a hard day's night, one thing I like about this song in terms of the rhythm is how the strumming pattern works with the vocals. You know, it's been a hard day's night. You know, night happens with that G on the upstroke on the and after 4, which otherwise is in a weird place. But since we're saying night, it really reinforces it. You know, the melody rhythm matches the guitar rhythm. So that's something to keep in mind if you're trying to play and sing this at the same time. Now, other than what we've learned so far, the verse, there's one other section, and that is what the Beatles would call the middle 8, or what we nowadays would call the bridge. And that's the part that has that B minor bar chord. And if you're ready for it, B minor bar chord is the best sound we can do here. But if you want a simpler solution, we can play this. And for that, I'm putting my index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. I skip a string. Middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. Then my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. The same place it would be on like a D chord. This kind of feels like a D chord, but we're lifting our index and middle a bit higher. And it's important to rest your index finger underneath the thickest string to mute it. That gives you a B minor 7 chord. It's not a B minor chord, but it's pretty close and it has a similar sound. And switching from this to E minor, which is the next chord, is very simple. You just leave your index down, pivot into E minor. So you can try that going between those chords a few times, or between the B minor bar chord and the E minor chord. Also pivoting off your index finger, doing a little rotation there. See, I have the B minor chord and I kind of rotate. And that gets me into my E minor nice and comfortably. In terms of the strumming, we just use the most common strumming pattern ever, one time on each shape there, and that's pretty much it. And the second part of it, G, E minor, C, D, that's like one of the most common patterns ever. If you learn Stand By Me, you know, that's how the song goes. And let's just try this. I'm going to get my metronome going. Once again, you can just see how it goes and try it with me after. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, with what we've learned so far, you could totally play through the entire song, but there are some finishing touches that are going to be really nice to add, like that intro chord. And there's this famous video, I think it's Randy Bachman and a couple other people. They got those master recordings from the Beatles, you know, so you could actually isolate each track and hear all the different tracks on it. And that's like, I think 3 guitars at once, all playing different chords, and it combines to make this really cool sound. And the simpler solution that I've come up with that doesn't involve inviting 2 of your friends over to play 1 chord each, it's just going like that. It's like a D7 sus chord. So if you are familiar with the D7 chord, like that, where we have our middle finger on the 2nd fret of G, our index finger on the 1st fret of B, and then our ring finger on the 2nd fret of the high E string. Instead of our ring finger on the 2nd fret, we're putting our pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E. And we're strumming the top 4 strings. And you don't really have to get good at this chord for the intro because you have all the time in the world to place your fingers down because it's the start of the song, right? And you just strum it once. And I count in my head to 4 2 times. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. It's been a hard day's night. The other part is the ending. The ending's a tiny bit different from our figure 1. We'll call this figure 2, I guess. It goes. So the strumming's identical. We're just switching back to the C chord during that second measure on beat 3 for the down, down, up. So down, 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 up, switch, up, down, C, down. You know, so you can always just pause, take a look at that. If you got good at figure 1, it's not going to be a big deal to switch to the C chord on beat 3. And at the ending, we do that a couple times. And then figure 3, I suppose, would be going down, 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 up, and then playing our intro chord, which is now our outro chord. So I'm just going down, down on the G chord as usual, but on the C chord going down, up to provide a build up. And then I can leave my index finger down and pivot off of that into our intro chord. And we're just strumming it once just to, let the song breathe and kind of fade away. So I'm going to play the outro now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel alright. You know I feel alright. You know I feel alright. And that's it. At this point, I recommend printing out the lyrics and then going through this lesson and taking notes on your lyric sheet. I know it's tempting to print off the one that you found online, but the truth is that's what I started with, and I ended up correcting a big chunk of it. So you might as well just take advantage of all the corrections that I've come up with for this lesson to make it much simpler and sound more like the recording. Now, if you want to keep learning guitar with me, like I said before, I have that all access pass, and that unlocks all of my courses that are, hidden away on my website, like my beginner's course, Learn Guitar Once and For All, which will teach you how to strum chords with confidence, become the king or queen of the campfire. But I also have a ton of other courses designed to take you from beginner to intermediate or beyond that and learn fingerstyle, more advanced strumming, the blues, music theory, bar chords. There's more. I just can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but there's a ton of courses. There's all my YouTube bonuses. Like there's a full song playthrough for this song, which I didn't mention yet. But if you want to play through the entire song with me from start to finish, that's there too. I also have community access. That's my Good Guitarist community where you can ask me questions. Sometimes people send videos and I can watch you play and give you that one-on-one lesson experience, So it's definitely something worth thinking about. If you enjoy learning guitar with me, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.